Hey guys, welcome back. This is Alessandro. So today I was talking with one of my students and he asked me a question, okay? Because he started with me and he has a full-time job and he's not happy about it. And it was like, my full-time job actually take me time away from animation, right? I cannot study full-time animation because of my job. So he asked me, Alessandro, should I quit my job, my full-time job, to fully focus on animation, right? And he also told me that there is a lot of people that are thinking about switching career from their current job to animation, and a lot of people are concerned about, like, is too late, what are the risks and everything. So I was asking my opinion because I faced something similar, not exactly the same, but I had a similar issue. And he wanted me to talk about it, and I thought about, it would be nice to share with all of you. So first of all, if you have a full-time job already, if you have a career and you're thinking it's too late, it really depends, okay? How old are you? You are 55 or something, then yeah, maybe it could be a little bit too late, because you have to consider that if you're gonna change career, right, you're gonna start from the bottom, okay? You're gonna start as a junior, maybe as an intern in some case. So even though I always said animation can be a great career, that you can even earn good money, it will take time, right? It's not gonna happen in a few years. So you have to be comfortable with this, right? Probably leaving a job that already maybe pay you well already to start all over, and you have to be comfortable with that idea. For you, it's like, oh no, you know what, I have enough money, but my job doesn't make me really happy. I'm okay to take a step back for 4 to 5 years. It's still enough for me. Then it's okay, because at the end, animation studio won't care how old you are. They will hire you based on your skill. If you're good, you're good. That's not their problem. If you're 55, you're gonna retire in 5 years. If you're good, you're talented, they will still hire you anyway. So that's not the issue. It's mostly for you to think about this, that if you're gonna start a new job, you have to start from the bottom and climb up again, okay? So you have to see how many years left I have. I have still 15 years of working, and I can do it. If it's still enough for you, then go ahead. But set this aside. Let's talk about the risk of changing, leaving your current job to start again and study animation first and then potentially working. So there are a few issues. First of all, the simple one is financially, okay? Because you probably have a job, it's pay you money, you pay rent. If you have a family, you have certain expenses, okay? So now if you quit your job and you're gonna decide to focus purely into study animation because you wanna work, well, then you have to ask yourself, like, how long can you survive with your amount of savings, okay? Because for how long you can continue to pay rent, pay the school, pay food, or whatever expenses you have, right? So you need to calculate if you still have enough savings to try this and hopefully succeed, because you have to take this in consideration. Just because you're gonna study animation doesn't mean you're gonna get a job, guys. I mean, it's a harsh reality, but studying is not enough. Animation is not for everybody. Some people are talented to be animators, others simply are not. So you have to consider also this one, and we'll discuss this in the later part of the video, but it's something you wanna keep in mind. And I could tell you, for example, what I did when I was having a job and I was not happy about my job and I wanted to pursue animation and fully commit into study animation. I was a generalist in a small video game company, so I was not really happy. I was doing modeling, texture, things I don't really like it. But I knew at some point I wanted to quit and study the animation mentor. And I knew it cost quite a lot of money for me, and I need to pay bill as well. So basically what I did, guys, for like a few years, I did a hell of a lot of sacrifice. So for example, instead of renting a small place all for myself, I shared a place with a lot of people. I was even outside of the city, okay, so to save a lot of money, because rent usually is the most expensive thing. So I just took a room for myself to share with others, and it was very cheap. Obviously going to work will take me an hour and a half, but back then for me, being younger, I was okay to wasting time in going to work, so at least I could make a lot more money. I was never eating outside, I was always cooking by myself. I was very rarely going outside for drinking or clubbing with my friends, very, very rarely, spending very little money in video games, stuff like that. And at the same time, behind my full-time job, I was having a freelance job as well. So there was a few cases where, in some months I could save 2 or 3,000 euro every month. It wasn't happen very often, but it was good. On average, I was maybe saving 1,300 euro, something like that. And when I have the extra lucky to do those freelance job, I could save a lot more. And so again, I was making sacrifice. Maybe my friends were criticizing me, okay, but at the end, I think it paid off for me. So I did this for 2 years and a half, something like that, and I saved enough money. So I knew later on I can continue to stay in a cheap rent place, okay, to spend very little, pay the school and everything. And just to let you know, guys, for me, Animation Mentor wasn't enough because I was not one of the lucky people that I graduated from the school and immediately get a job. My reel was still not strong, so I had to continue to study, privately with a private mentor to have a reel good enough to get a job. And it cost me money, probably another 7 or 8 thousand USD dollars, something like that. So again, you need to consider all those things. Things are not always gonna be super smooth. You don't know how long potentially it's gonna take you to study. For me, from Animation Mentor took me more than 2 years if I consider my private mentoring, maybe a little bit more. So that's the thing, you have to be comfortable. Do you have enough savings to go through all this, right? And another option could be maybe you want to leave your full-time job and get a part-time job, because maybe you don't need as much money, okay, to study and to pay rent, but you still need a little bit so you can do a part-time job, guys. And so maybe this could be completely a great solution, okay, guys. And the other things I will recommend you, if you're not really sure to change this career and everything, instead of immediately jump and say, okay, I'm gonna quit everything, I'm gonna study and commit to a school for 1.5 years or 2 years. I know, for example, there are college, that they let you study for 3 years, their animation program or visual effects program, whatever it is, and you have to pay in full to kind of commit to them. For me, that's too much big of a risk, especially because I had a few people contact me that are kind of regretting it. They do not like in the school and everything. They realize it after a few months, and guess what? They pay in full they take a loan to pay everything in full, and now if they want to quit, they're not gonna get any refund. So it's really, really bad. So my suggestion could be, if you're not really even sure if animation is what could be the good career for you, or if you're not even talented to be an animator, maybe what you should do, my suggestion would be, if you already have a full-time job, keep in your full-time job, okay? Start to study animation a little bit by yourself, right? There is a lot of resources offline, YouTube, my YouTube channel. If you want to just have a glimpse, a taste, there are some schools that will allow you to do one classes for just 3 months. Okay, so at least you can have an idea if it's something you're gonna like it. If you're talented, you can study privately. Okay, I have some of the students came to me. They says, I'm not really sure animation is gonna work for me. I just wanna try for a few months. They try with me and then they like it. They wanna continue. They see the progress and so on. And progress is another thing, guys, because if you've been studying this even casually for 2-3 years, just want to taste the water and see if you have any kind of talented, and you realize maybe after 3 years it's not going anywhere, maybe you even take a full-time school or something and still your school is not quite there, maybe after 4, 5, 6 years, maybe, guys, at some point, I know it sounds harsh, but it's you have to admit to yourself, okay, maybe animation is not for me, and there's nothing wrong with that, guys. I wanted to be a 2D animator, I wanted to be a mangaka, do anime stuff like that when I was very young, and I probably was drawing like every day for like 6-7 years, and then I come to the conclusion, okay, I suck in drawings, probably never this is gonna be my career, and I moved to something else. But likely I realized this one when I still was quite young. I was 22 or 23, okay, when I kind of realized this. So for me, I still have time to continue to study. If you're already old enough and you're keep studying and studying animation, you're not going anywhere, you're not improving, and you are too blind to see that maybe this is not a career for you, it might hurt you, especially if you left your jobs or something, right? Especially if you have a family, it's a lot more difficult. And if you don't know, okay, because you're studying by yourself and you have no idea what is your skill at this point, right? It says, hey, am I good enough? I can tell it's this good enough to get a job, or do I have the potential to study and get there? Well, don't just stay there by yourself, or don't ask advice to your friend or to your parents, because they're not gonna help you in any way. What you should do is to contact a professional animator who's already working in the industry, and submit your demo reel, your work in progress, and say, hey, I've been studying this for 5 years. What do you think? I have potential. Should I continue or should I give up? And be careful if you go to a school to submit your demo reel to ask their advice, because their school at the end, they want to make money, so they will try to lure you in any way. Okay, if you talk with someone privately, I think, in my opinion, they will give you a more honest advice. I do it sometimes. Sometimes people come to me, they want me to review their demo reel and everything. And I know I'm fully booked. I don't have extra time to get new animators, so I have no intention to teach him animation. so I can give him my really honest opinion. I don't have any reason to lie to him or say, hey, yes, you have potential, come to study with me. I have zero interest in that. So that's something you want to consider. You have to be very careful. Unfortunately, there are some school or institution that don't really care. They only want you to subscribe and pay money to their course. So you have to be very, very careful about that. I would suggest you. Okay, guys, I give you plenty of knowledge and suggestion. If you have any question or something else you want to know, let me know in the comment. Okay, see you next time. Ciao.